In this lesson, we will learn how to work with AutoKey, and we'll also learn how to create simple expressions in the graph editor. AutoKey is really neat because it can help us save time in our keying process. The way it works is once we have a key set, we're then ready to use AutoKey, which will essentially save a keyframe once we change a value on that animated channel. So if we were to go ahead and grab our mech, and I'll also set our end time back to 33 because we're going to add more to our cycle. Now let's go ahead and enable AutoKey by going to the bottom right hand corner of Maya. We'll just go ahead and click on this key icon. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and focus on our Translate Y that does have a keyframe. You'll notice that if I were to go ahead and grab that channel and just kind of middle mouse button drag up to make a change, take a look, a key has been saved. Now you can see here that AutoKey in this case is kind of harmful, right? Because we've made a change that doesn't look too good at all. So you have to be really careful. You can override a pose with AutoKey if you're not careful with it. But with that said, I mean, it can still save you a lot of time. I use it all the time when I animate. So I'd highly recommend you get used to it. Now let's say we go ahead and trash this keyframe on 13 because it's harming our animation right now. We'll just go ahead and right click once we've moved to that frame and then choose delete by simply right clicking and choosing delete. Fantastic. Now if you want to remove a range of keys, just go ahead and hold down shift and drag. Take a look, there's our selection range. You can now right click and choose delete. Now in this case, not cool, right? We've removed some very vital keys. Let's go ahead and press the Z key to undo back. Fantastic. So what type of change will we make to our animation? Let's go ahead and animate the claws. That'll look pretty interesting. So we'll go ahead and grab both arm controls. Again, we want to make sure a key is established first, because if we don't, if we were to go ahead and make a change, let's say with our claw parameter, just highlight the parameter and middle mouse button drag over to your left or right, you'll notice that there's no animation. Alright, so here's what we'll do. On frame 1, let's go ahead and set our claw channel back to 0. We'll now right click and choose key selected. Sweet. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing on 33. We'll go ahead and right click and choose key selected just to make sure our start and end frames are identical. Now on 17, watch, we can go to that frame, we can go ahead and make a change to our claw channel. I'll go ahead and drag to the left just so we can open up the claws a bit and take a look at that. Now we have some movement instantly. Sweet. So let's go ahead and finish by taking a look at how we can create simple expressions to modify our keys. What we'll do is go ahead and offset the claws animation on the left hand, just so that we don't have the same timing, the same movement, which means that we're running into twinning, right? And twinning is harmful because it's not natural. That's when we have the same type of pose and movement on both halves of our model. So we have to be really careful about that. It hardly ever happens in real life. So here's what we'll do. With our left arm control selected, we'll head over to our graph editor. Sweet. From there, let's say we go ahead and take a look at our keys. All right, they're not cycling just yet, but no worries. I'm going to go ahead and offset the timing. We'll then go ahead and cycle the animation. So watch, if we were to go ahead and, let's say, grab the keys that we would like to offset, we can then go to our time field and we'll type in the following. That's going to be the operator we'd like to use. In this case, it's the plus operator. So let's go ahead and add the plus symbol. And then we'll add the equal operator. And now we'd add the offset amount. So in this case, let's go ahead and offset by 2 frames. So we'll simply put in a value of 2. If we wanted to offset by -2 frames, we would put in -2. And if we wanted to multiply a value of 2 to increase our timing by 2, we can go ahead and put in the multiplication operator. But in this case, we're just going to go ahead and shift them down 2 frames to delay their timing. Now watch, when we hit enter, you can see how our keys have shifted 2 frames down. So instead of our midpoint being on 17, it's now on 19. How cool is that? I really enjoy using this to make quick edits to my work. Fantastic. So now let's go ahead and cycle these keys. We'll go ahead and grab both controls. There's that offset. Now we're ready to head over to curves, pre-infinity, cycle, curves, post-infinity, cycle. If you ever want to turn off your cycle, by the way, just go ahead and head back over to curves and choose constant instead. Sweet. And then just to be on the safe side and make sure that both curves are cycling, because you can see right now we just have one highlighted here in the graph editor, what we can do is go ahead and just control click both channels, highlight both channels, and then go in and use cycle and cycle. Fantastic. So now what we should get is an offset that looks more natural in our claws. Sweet, and that's exactly what we have. So in this lesson, we have learned how to work with AutoKey, and we've also learned about simple expressions that can be used to help us a lot when it comes to editing keyframes.